Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the President of the Republic has left the capital for Addis Ababa for the 32 Summit for International Students. William Soro resigns from the presidency of the National Assembly in Ivory Coast. Welcome to our newsroom. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margelle, has left today, Saturday, the country for the city of Addis Ababa, the Ethiopian capital, where for 2 days on February 10 and 11, 2019, he will take part in the work of the 13th Summit of the Head of State and Government of the African Union. It is a summit dedicated to the nations of migration in Africa and therefore a platform for exchanges and reflections on the causes and solutions to be advocated in order to address the displacement of populations. During this meeting, the leaders of the Black continent will be especially invited to support the establishment of mechanisms and conventions necessary for the marginalizations at the source of the phenomenon. The population is displaced and migration is certain. The 32 Summit of the African Union will finally have the member country of Pan-African organizations ratifying the agreement on the continental free trade area. Under the auspices of the President Gele, our countries will participate in the Summit of the African Union as a nation is in phase with all the topics on its agenda. Addis Ababa, the Ethiopian capital and headquarters of the Continental Organization, hosts on February 10 and 11 the 32nd ordinary sessions of the Assembly of Head of State and Government on the theme of the Year of Refugee, Returnee and IDPs for sustainable solutions to forced displacement in Africa. The major issue chosen this year by the Head of State and Government and around which will be broken down the key activity of the African Union will enable them to seek ways and means necessary to find lasting solutions to the problems, the thorny problems of forced migration, which is first and foremost intercontinental, with internally displaced person representing more than 13% of African migrants. During the summit, the head of state and government of the 55 member countries will also look at the situations in the zones of tension, but also on the institutional issue, including the incumbent president in offices of the EU, Paul Kagame, had made one of his priority. The reforms of the Commission is also part of the agenda. It should be pointed out that the subject is still sensitive since November 2018. The majority of the states had rejected the plan to give the head of the executive bodies of the EU the power to appoint his own deputies or commissioner, head of state and government. Will also have to urge countries that have not done to ratify the agreement on the Continental Free Trade Area to allow its entry into forces. The ambassador on the topics of the agenda, migrants and internally displaced person, the ambassador of Djibouti in Addis Ababa, Mohammed Idris Farah, said the 32nd ordinary session of the African Union opens tomorrow, February 10, 11 in Addis Ababa. The president is expected today to take part. It was in this context for the Djibouti ambassador in Addis Ababa, Mr. Mohammed Idris Farah, gave us an interview in which he gave details on the issue on the agenda. The themes this year, he said, is migrant and peoples displaced by war, and also another themes on the Continental African Free Trade Zone. Ambassador Mohammed Idris Farah also mentioned in another meeting on the sidelines of the conference that the head of state, His Excellency Ismail Gelle, will take part at the invitations of the Executive Secretary of the African Economic Commission, an economic forum on development and health. The Minister of Muslim Affairs and Cultures, Momin Hassan Barre, met yesterday in Cairo with the Secretary General of the Organizations of Islamic Cooperation, Dr. Yusuf bin Ahmed Al-Utaymin. The meeting took place in the presence of ministerial advisors, Mr. Shuaib Adjal, Counselor at our embassy in Cairo. The Minister Momin Hassan Barre congratulated the Secretary General on the great success of the first editions of Cultural and Artistic Festival in Egypt under the theme One Nation and Multiple Culture, Palestine in the Heart. The Minister underscored the importance of cultures in the bringing people together, adding that culture is becoming one of the influential elements of soft power and also an efficient means of diplomacy. Popular. For his part, the Secretary General thanked the Minister for the participation of the Republic of Djibouti in this festival, the first of its kind, which will make known the diversity of cultures and traditions within the Muslim community. The Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, flew early this morning about the helicopters toward Ali Une in the region of Arta. In his trip, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim was accompanied by General Tahir Ali Mohammed, Chief of the Defense Staff, Major General Hassan Ali Kamil, advisors to the CMGA. Also, the major officials of the Djiboutian Armed Forces also participate in this inspections visit. This visit by the Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces was aimed at acquiring the institutions of the Rapid Intervention Battalions, now BIR, and advances in military training. In fact, the elements of the BIR battalions have completed their initial basic trainings and have already started the second phase of their curriculums, namely a specific commando training. Thus, during their trainings are programmed particular lessons with foot soldiers, such as the training of the future leaders of group and sections heads the course of hardening, which makes it possible to harden and forge the minds of the soldier, the apprenticeship of the local combat, commando-specific technical fighting, and many others.
Rassemblés 343 sur les rangs. À vos ordres, mon général.
Once all the delegation is installed, Captain Omar Ali Hassan, commanders of the BIR, made a presentation of his battalions created in August 2017 on the initiative of the Chief of the Defense Staff. The Rapid Intervention Battalions has the main goals of supporting the ADF in their respective missions with a specific character. The BIR is made up of dynamic young recruits elected for a specific purpose. This battalion is unique because of the specificity and from trainings given, because its model is modeled on that of the American Special Forces, composed of elite unit. Its main strength lies in its ability to break up into separate interventionist units living in the middle of the pastoral populations. The BIR battalion actively participate in the improvement of conditions of their life through actions of aid to the population, the evacuations of the sick by the military medical ambulance, the supply of waters. Thus the elements of the BIR have demonstrated their know-how and their achievement through demonstrations workshop. As a result, Siamga first attend the combat workshop where the military demonstrate new combat techniques based on the terrains. Thus, seasoned the group presented as the delegations their tactical knowledge in terms of combat through various joint dependence on the life of the weathers. The trainings of the group is closely related to the environment. Then it is the turn of another group to demonstrate their knowledge of spatial orientations. Very satisfied with the result, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim urged the BIR military to give more for the homelands. The element of the BIR was decorated for after finish the training sessions of 3 months. For his part, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, very satisfied with the results, has urged the BIR military to give more of for the homeland and their countries. Simga pointed out that the military high command has put a lot of hope in them and that the country expects a lot from the beer battalions. The several advised to always keep in itself the notions of surpassing oneself and the absolute courage that have always made the reputations of the Djiboutian armed forces in all situations. To show their satisfaction, Semga has the best elements of the service. This helps. In his address, Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim did not fail to advise exposers and very satisfied with the results. To give high command has put all the hope in them, and that the battalions, the general advised to always keep in itself absolute courage that have always made the Djiboutian armed forces in all situations. As part of the revitalization of the Community Development Center, the UNFD headquarters hosted a meeting last Thursday in the afternoon, chaired by UNFD Vice President Hassan Ahmed Bilil in the presence of the UNFD Secretary General Fatouma Moussa Abdi, the CDC Directors Ruqia Hassan Sheikh, and officials from both institutions. This meeting, the first of a long series of meetings planned within this framework, had for primary objectives the setting up of a fair tech workshop in the CDC, but also other means of promotions and development of the young people. She also intervenes for major donations of UNICEF equipment for Community Development Center last Monday at Guled Stadiums, and the UNFD social integration for structures will contribute by availability to its competent staff. The importance of this collaboration lies in the fact that its aim is at the most important and vulnerable social layer, which if it not well framed and supported could easily sink into societal thrones. As part of the development of the city of Djibouti, the mayor of the city has launched an appeal this morning to users who use the public roads as the corners of cell. The Director of Technical Service of the Mayors of Djibouti, Mr. Usman Abdi Hassan, and the Sub-Prefect of the District Plateau, Mr. Awale Mohammed, and the Executive of the city all went to the street of Venice to raise awareness on the users of this site and inform them of the process being put in place to evacuate these sites. The officials of the towns all and the prefectures have given up specific deadlines for users to leave the premises of who throw the destroyed in the sea, because this place is considered as perhaps much frequented by citizens and one of the most important arteries for trade. It should be noted that this operation is part of the cleaning and cleanliness operation is carried out by the Djibouti City Council. In an address delivered by the technical directors of the city of Djibouti, Mr. Usman Hassan, he recalled the importance of this operation is led by the city councils and keep our city clean and to protect our environment. The association of the parents and students of Anglais School launched this Thursday, February 7th, 2019, materials and equipment for the students of basic education. The event was held at the Anglais School in the presence of the network's chairperson, Ms. Yuta Boka Ahmed, Anglais School Director, Mr. Yassin Alwan, as well as teachers and members of the school, associations of parents of people. The objective is to help the students in school so that they have the right materials to study in the best conditions. The school supplies were made up a notebook, pack on pencils, and chalk, strict and other educational materials offered by the APE associations. The Ministry of Health informed the populations that the medical assistance of cardiac surgery will stay in Djibouti from 10 to 15 February. These medical assistance missions will provide counseling for children with cardiac malformation. The goal of these medical missions is to have an emergency surgery. Thus, the Ministry of Health is asking the information is about Pelletier General Hospital in the cardiology department. The Guled Stadiums and the National Technical Centers hosted yesterday afternoon for match in the framework of the finals of the 8th finals of the Djibouti Cup. The first match was against Djibouti Telecom and Dikil. The Djibouti Telecom dominated the match and the best of turn scores of 5-1 to doublings of the star strikers Du Ale and trick from Fatai. Also, the other match posed Arta Sola 7 against the team of the city of Stadium. The match ended with a score of 4-0 in favor of the Arta Sola 7 team. Also, the qualifications of the SDVK 2 for the quarterfinals, and SDVK defeated Kartile on goal shot. And finally, University of Djibouti has eliminated Hayable on a score of 5-0. On this Thursday, February 7, 2019, the first regular sessions of the Regional Assembly was held in the conference rooms of the Dakhel Regional Council. This meeting, chaired by the President in office of this regional institutions in this Mr. Abdurrahman Yunus Arre, focused on two main points: validations of the operating and investment budget of the Dakhel region, implementations of a recovery strategy to increase revenue for the year 2019, in addition to the members of the local elected representative. Mr. Farid, the head of the Regional Tax Office, took part in the meeting, chairing with the Assembly the functionings of this regional service and the difficulties encountered in the file. This is to improve tax revenue for the years just started 2019 to date. The 2008 tax levy in Dakhel amounted to 5 million francs. Yesterday, the associations of the young people for the development of Obok has organized a day of cleaning the beach in partnership with the establishment of Kubesh in the aims of awareness of the youth on the importance of the environment and to awaken this awareness of the population. The necessity of preserving the beaches. The association sees for the promotion of sport and the beach, the protection of the environment, as well as project development of eco-tourism to allow the regions of Obok to enjoy its the success of these days. Come back to the President. The youth associations for the development of Obok, Mr. Mustafa Mohammed Abdo, to which he congratulates the young people who participate massively in these days, and thanked the establishment Kubesh for their support, particularly Mr. Christophe Chenu, who takes serious our initiative. At the top of the day yesterday for the North, the first days of the National Swimming Championship is held this Friday at the Obok region's top overs with the participation of Tajora, a swimmer, accompanied by the Vice President of the Regional Councils of Tajora, the president of the Regional Swimming League of the White City, Mr. Maki, welcomed at Obok City, where the competition is held by the vice president of the Obok Regional Council, Mr. Ahmed Ali Sheikh, the president of Obok Regional League of Swimming, the deputy directors of the Secretary of Youth and Sport, by 15 swimmers of the region in all categories, and not to mention the youngest swimmers Obok, the youngest members of the schools of swimming, who make their first returns to this championship and have also brilliantly represent our clubs in the occasions of this fourth day. For the international scene in Ivory Coast, Guillaume Soro resigned from the presidency of the National Assembly in Côte d'Ivoire. Former Ivory rebels leader Guillaume Soro resigned Friday as president of the National Assembly. Former Ivorian rebel leader Guillaume Soro, who is said to have presidential ambitions for 2020, poll in Côte d'Ivoire, resigned on Friday as a president of the National Assembly. An extraordinary session he had called. At the moment I am resigning, he said, while he is in court with the head of the state, Alassane Ouattara. Refusing to resign would lead to an institutional crisis. We cannot risk endangering the fragile peace to keep a job, he added. The warning seems to be scarped between the United States and North Korea after the visit of Pyongyang. U.S. envoy Stephen Biegun traveled to Seoul, South Korea, to meet with South Korean diplomat Kang Young, who discussed the summit scheduled for the end of the month. We do not know where it will take us, not Stephen Biegun, but we are at full talks with the North, and our discussions have been productive, as you may already know. Not yet, because we just learned it in the car. The president announced that Hanoi would be the places of the second summit, February 27th and 28th. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us.